Damn, I can't believe that all those valves look like that. And then this is before the gas.
In this video, I teach you my secret on how to clean your engine parts for cheap rather than expensive at the machine shop.
This is usually fairly frightening.
I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Okay, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. I've already went over this. The valves need cleaned. The springs need cleaned. Half of them are really, really dirty. The retainers need cleaned, but they're very small. And these are the valves and retainers for the ZE intake side. So these are garbage to me. I will never use them. If somebody wants them, they can have them for free. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is soak these overnight so I can easily clean them the next day. I'm not gonna clean these with a brush, but I'll get all the crap out of it by putting fuel into here and then putting all the valves in and letting them soak overnight. So and then I can do the wire brush tomorrow. It might save me 10-20% of the time rather than just going at them dry. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open the bag, put all the intake valves on the left, all the exhaust on the right, so they're sort of organized, and then just pour in all this. And then tomorrow I'll just pick them out. So as you can see, it's been like not even 30 seconds since I poured it in, and the bottom is black. The fuel is already black. So it actually is doing something. So that's exactly what I want. I'm just trying to get away with the least amount of fuel possible. So once the valves are out, once I start picking the valves out tomorrow, I'll leave the springs in, let them really soak, maybe even for like a week. And then hopefully they'll be a lot cleaner and all that good stuff. This is before the gas.
Here I'm putting a cylinder head in a bucket and I'm completely submerging this in fuel to clean it.
So I got it filled up to the top with gas and I just have a bag over top. Hopefully that keeps the actual vapors inside, but I'm excited to see how this thing's actually gonna turn out because the head I put in was very dirty. So all right, it's been 12 hours, so I'm gonna see how she went. So I'm just gonna go in there with a little bit of a wire brush, get some of this crap off. Look at that. It's gonna be like brand new once it's done. All right, that head is in here in the fuel for the third time, so it should be fairly clean when I rip her out. I took a little bit of a wire brush on my Dremel, got the loose stuff in the actual combustion chamber, so that's gonna be sick hopefully. So now I'm just gonna move on to the valves. I'm gonna do it with a wire wheel on the table. All right, so here are two exhaust valves, and as you can see, they're very caked. There's quite a bit of a bulge there, and that is all carbon. That all needs to come off. And then on the face here, that one's not too bad, but some of them are like that one. That's really bad. So just gonna give you a little before and after.
Okay, so since I removed over 80 valves out of those heads that I am planning to rebuild, I have a lot of work to do. I have so many valves to do and all of them are just caked and stuff. So I was at this for at least 6 hours.
This is what a dirty exhaust valve looks like. It's also been sitting in fuel for 24 hours now, so it's got quite a bit more clean than it was. And then this is one that has been cleaned. No ridge on here. That's perfect. That's perfectly clean. So I'm gonna put it back into a clean fuel bin and then redo it after, just to make sure there's no actual carbon inside of the metal. I know it's not very porous, but steel is porous to a degree, so I'm gonna definitely clean them again. So I'm gonna have a different station to put these clean ones. Yeah, so I definitely got my work cut out for me. I've got about 100 of these to do, so lots of work, but lots of fun. This is gonna be very rewarding for sure, because it's gonna make my engines actually have better compression. but this is gonna take a long time to do this, but it's gonna be worth it. Look at how much carbon is on that. That is nuts. But doing this and doing so many heads at one time, I'm going to be able to pick the good valves. I'll be able to test them, make sure they're not bent or anything like that, and see how pitted they are. Like I'll be able to, like this one's a little bit pitted. If there's one less pitted that I don't have to grab this one, I'm gonna grab the less pitted one, like when I'm down to lapping, so.
After hours and hours of work, slowly I get up to my 80 that I need done, and I'm getting there. I'm sorting them in quality. So the closest pile on the bottom is all the mint condition ones that are basically brand new condition, and the middle pile is usable but a little bit pitted, and then I removed all the other ones and put them in a different spot for the unusable. My engines that I use are V6s, and they are 24 valve.
All right, so here are the valves that, in my opinion, are usable. This is my pile that are in mint condition, that are ready to go other than lapping. These are medium. These are usable, but they would require a decent amount of lapping. And then these ones are all the deads. So these are dead. So I don't know if you can see all those bumps. See all those bumps there? So that is an issue with compression, 100%. That is gouged very, very deeply. It's almost like some metal was getting crunched over and over and over and over again. There's quite a few of them here that are like that. They're here for a reason, because I like to salvage whatever I can. So you can see if it's shining on the screen, that means there's a big gouge in it. This is the worst one right here. So yeah, and for these ones were in nearly brand new condition. So these are cleaned up very well. They look awesome. I'm just gonna wipe this so it doesn't looks awesome. So these are what I'm going to be using. I need 12 of these of each. So I need 12 intake valves, which are the large ones, to do a complete set of heads. So that's 2 heads, and I need 12 valves that are intake. So I'm gonna count the large ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have 3 extra that are in mint condition. And for the exhaust, it's a lot harder to find mint exhaust ones that were used, because they actually take the most abuse, because literally flames go by them, and they just take a beating, because intake valves, when it's actually sucking in the air and fuel is touching the valve. So every intake stroke, the valves on the intake side get hit with fuel, so that cleans them. That really, really, really helps them survive. But the exhaust ones, they really take a beating. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mint condition ones that are for the exhaust. So I honestly thought I'd have a lot more, and then I'm gonna have to just go through these and find the best condition ones for this. So since I don't have as many valves as I thought, I'm going to have to salvage 6 of them, but that's fine. That's what lapping's for. It takes material off the actual seat right here, and it makes a perfect bond. But I don't like having to lap more than I have to. That's why I picked the best condition ones possible. So this will be a great setup for my daily driver / like my street car, the Red Ted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an entire engine for Red Ted, not buying anything other than seals, like valve seals and everything. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's gonna be the first build I'm gonna be doing. And these are the valves I'm going to be using. And I'm gonna just quickly go through these ones and pick the ones I want to run in the actual new heads that I'm making. Just to give you a reference here, I didn't clean 2 valves here to show you what these look like when they're not cleaned. This is obviously a not cleaned one. Dirty, dirty, dirty. This is actually what a burnt exhaust valve looks like. See how it's kind of red? That thing got hot. That thing was throwing some serious flames. And then this one has like a serious amount of carbon on the end. This is probably fine, but it's just full of stuff. I just wanted to show you what the difference is. This is kind of normal on an engine that's old and probably burning oil a bit. And then these are the clean ones. These are just literally wire wheeled. I soaked them in fuel as long as I could, 12 hours before the next day, and literally just a not very aggressive wire wheel. And that's how I've done them. And so far it's costed me nothing but a couple liters of fuel.
And now I'm going over every single valve again. I let them sit in fuel for a while and redid everything, made sure everything was clean, and I went lighter onto the actual wire brush to smooth out the surface as much as I possibly could. The smoother the surface on the valves, the less likely it's going to collect carbon, like before, like they were all gross. But yeah, the smoother they are, the better, and the longer it will be clean inside your engine. The valves are literally looking brand new. I'm stoked. This is going to be a great addition to Red Ted, that's for sure. It's going to really wake the thing up with the 2.5 V6 compared to the 2-liter V6.
All right, so these are the valves that I considered perfect condition. I've went over them 3 times, and as you can see, they are in fantastic condition. So first, I started off with valves like this, just absolutely mangled and covered in carbon. And I would sand it this way, sand it that way, get everything off, put it back into fuel. Then I did all 80 of them, and when I was done that first round, I would go through them again. And on the second round, I looked at all the seats. So the shiny spot is the seat, so I would check all of them. Right now I'm spinning the valve, and I would check for some divots or any sort of thing that wasn't perfectly smooth. And if they were perfectly smooth, they went into this pile. If they were fairly good, I put them into this pile. And if they were absolutely trash, I put them into this pile on my trailer here. And this is what you don't want to see. See all that pitting? Yeah, so the camera's picking it up, thankfully. But yeah, I've got about 20 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever, 14. And I've got all these perfect condition ones, which is fantastic. And all these ones are still usable, but it'll take a lot longer when I'm actually lapping the valves. Like you can see right there, there's one little divot there. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. This isn't a fine valve for sure, but I separated everything, so these are 100% near brand new condition, all cleaned and as smooth as possible I could get them. And these ones are, if I have a bunch of time and I have lots of time to lap, but I'm going to do these ones for lapping on my first head and second head. I've got enough to do 2 heads here. It's just good peace of mind to have perfect valves, right? Like that's a perfect valve. All these are the exact same, and it was really hard to find perfect condition exhaust valves, so I really had to sand away at these and wire wheel at them, get them perfect. So all right, I'm basically ready to start lapping. So everything's organized. I've got over 12 intakes and over 12 exhausts that are in perfect condition, so I'm going to start with these ones. Damn, I can't believe that all those valves look like that. And then comparing faces to faces, like you can literally see your reflection on it. And then this one is an absolute mess. Most of them are like that. So look at all the work I've done. So I've got a total of 6 hours just with this brush here, getting all these good. I've done over 80 of them. So yeah, it's a time consuming thing for sure. Oh, and the third time I went over these was just very lightly to get them as smooth as possible, so it could prevent corrosion buildup later on. Because if there is a not perfectly smooth surface, it's a lot easier for carbon to stick, and obviously the smoother the better. You could even polish these if you wanted to. So it's nothing special. I just want everything fresh and ready to go. Damn, that's clean. Woo! And some wire brushing. This thing looks pretty damn good. Definitely good enough for me for a stock rebuild, so this is gonna be dope.